Hi, everyone, and welcome to the Neil Haley Show. Again, go to my website, totaltutor.net for more information. Twitter, Total Tutor, Neil S. Haley, Facebook, LinkedIn, Neil Haley, Instagram, Total Tutor, Pinterest, Neil Haley, and Google+, Neil Haley. And another great, interesting show, and we're to start with another very interesting author, so I'm excited to welcome the program. Author Letha Marchetti, author of Dragons and Daisies. Letha, thanks for calling, and how are you?
I'm doing great this morning. How about yourself?
Fantastic. And so you're a behavior expert. That's probably one of the hardest things in the world because not many people can control behaviors in children or adults or anyone and animals. So it's a challenge to understand the way they think and how to work on behavior, correct?
Well, it is until you get some of the basics down.
Mm-hmm.
And fortunately, children show us by their behavior. And when we learn the keys, we're set.
So true. When we learn the keys, we're set in so many ways, and that's why you wrote this book, right? To try to show people out there these keys so that life is not so difficult. As a behaviors expert myself, working with birth to 3 and working with certain kids with behavior problems, I see specifically enough if there's no consistency with the parents and it doesn't make sense and the kids don't feel safe, forget about it, right?
Boy, you just hit some of the key points right there, Neil.
Yeah, so to let us know, Letha, tell us about that.
I'm sorry, I didn't hear that last
Oh, yeah,
line.
tell me about specifically some of those ideas you have, for sure.
Key
Yeah.
points. Well,
Mm-hmm.
You mentioned the last thing you said were children feeling safe. And, I think when parents get into the mindset of the child, it changes everything.
Mm-hmm.
When you have a child, say, he puts his hands over his ears when you go outside or you're standing at the doorroom to the school or something, and parents are like, there's nothing loud here. But in that child's nervous system, they're overwhelmed.
Yes.
They don't feel safe. If you go in, your friend comes over, your child doesn't know your friend,
Right.
and the child goes and hides behind the couch. And the parent's like, come out here, this is okay, everything's fine. That's not helping. Let the child settle down just the way you would. If you're overwhelmed, you want to take your time, let your body process the feelings it has, and then you're ready to go on to the next thing.
Yes, you're definitely ready to go on to the next thing, and it's something that how kids feel, how we understand what's going on, leads to why that bad behavior happens. Kids could be tired, kids could be angry, kids could be trying to get out of something. Once you pinpoint why they're doing something, it's much easier to fix it, right?
That's so true. I'd love to talk about some ways to help us pinpoint those things.
Absolutely. Let's talk. Tell us about that.
Watch the child and see if there is a sensory component to what they're doing.
Yes.
If you have a child who pulls all the cushions off of the couch, starts jumping on them, and you say, we don't do that in our home, and you turn around and he's jumping on the bed, you might notice that that's the sensory experience, that jumping. That's actually something we need to help us develop. It has to do with the inner ear and what happens in there. It has to do with compacting the joints together and the muscles feeling that weightlessness thing. So that's a great sensory experience. And if we don't jump on the couch, which I truly understand, where can your child jump? Can we set up hopscotch in the backyard? Can we get a mini trampoline, maybe a hippity hop?
Yes.
Let's give them the sensory experience they're craving in a way that's acceptable.
So you're seeing, Letha, that sensory has a lot to do with behavior in a lot of ways.
It is huge. Neil, I think it's like probably in the 90th percentile, just huge.
And you're talking, and especially if we're looking at, especially if we've had some themes the last couple of weeks involving autism or ADHD, that sensory types of issues that they could be dealing with is causing that behavior, but also can make them feel good, especially a child with ADHD. You're right, going and jumping on that trampoline is a good idea to get that energy out, or go run around and play a sport or something, then go down and try to sit down and do homework. But with children with autism, which I'm sure you've worked with a lot, they definitely need as many sensory breaks as possible, don't they, to keep them going? And
Neil, I am so glad you brought this up. I was just reading, we have Pop Sugar. I don't know if people get that. It's a thing for parents. And they just put out today a thing on autism and Asperger's. 10
Yes.
ways to know if your child's Asperger's, which is always a scary thing.
Yes,
Do I want to read this? And almost everything was sensory related.
wow.
And I thought, why is it, I'm an occupational therapist,
Yes.
and I thought, why are we putting labels on things that are symptomatic? So if the child wasn't talking incessantly, looking at something for way too long, according to somebody's opinion, like watching the little truck roll back and forth, which is a calming activity, by the way,
Yes.
that helps the child maintain control, and doing other strange things, making noises and so forth. All of these are sensory behavior. And I thought, okay, if I worked with that child in the clinic, or the parent called me and we did phone consults and they came to an understanding, this is what the child needs. When the child gets enough of this input, then learning can take place and we can leave that behind. Would they still call that child by that label?
No, they wouldn't, because so you're thinking in a lot of ways we can curb some of the situations that happen with children with autism, some of the behaviorals or certain kind of things with sensory strategies, it sounds like, through a lot of the things you've learned as an occupational therapist.
That is so right, Neil. So if the child gets what she needs,
right.
Let's say you're taking your daughter into preschool. She stops at the door and starts flapping her arms. This, of course, freaks everybody out. That's what autistic children do.
Right.
We can't have that. So the teacher comes and puts her hand on the little girl's shoulder and brings her arms gently down to her sides, pressing the arms down, and says, "Come on in, honey." Okay, I see that socially. It seems like that's a good idea.
Right.
But really, neurologically, when we understand it, and this is where I deal with the baffling behaviors.
Right.
So there she is with her arms up almost shoulder height, elbows bent, just flapping like crazy. Neurologically, her brainstem, that feeling part of our being, is saying, I need to know where I am. I don't have a good sense of where my body is, where my arms are, and this is a new situation. When I go in this classroom, there's all these people, there's going to be this noise. If I just get into my body, I could be in control. So that teacher, well-meaning, by pulling the child's arms down to her sides, has made it so that she cannot cope. She's asking for a meltdown today. This is going to be a very difficult day for that child. So what if the teacher said, "Oh, Samantha, good morning. Hey, you look like a butterfly. Let's fly in together."
Yes.
And
sorry to interrupt, but I really think that when I pound this point in, Letha, is that basically when that happens, we look at, that behavior's odd. Let's not allow them to do that. They're flapping their arms or they're self-stimming in certain ways. Oh, you know what? No. Let's stop them doing that. Make them look normal at this point, which was going to cause a lot worse things to happen, isn't it, Letha? If we intervene in that, if they're playing with a frisbee, or they're they want to stay in the pool a little longer, or they're on the swing or on the trampoline, give them that couple of minutes before you transition them. Don't just force them saying, we got to go now. Because what's going to happen is it's going to be a very hard day for that parent or teacher, correct?
That is so true. And helping the child gain control, for instance, in the example I just gave, if we're all going to be butterflies and fly in, now my arms just aren't flapping out of control. I'm getting the very input that my neurological system is asking for, and I'm taking control of it. So maybe, 5 kids down the line, it's a little boy who's jumping. Hey, great, we got a rabbit in the classroom this morning.
It's a great way of using inclusion in the classroom, to include that child that's dealing with this tough thing, but yet everyone and the other kids are enjoying that same thing, so that child feels included and feels safe because they don't feel so stressed, right?
Oh, you so got it, Neil.
And that's too bad. It's always we want to have this one-size-fits-all person. And because if they do something odd or strange, we want to get rid of it, not knowing that's the way that keeps them even keel, that keeps them from not exploding.
That's right. And Neil, here's another important point. Of course, parents worry, well, if he's going to be hopping like a rabbit every day into school, that might be okay for kindergarten and preschool, but we can't have a third grader or a high schooler doing that.
Great point.
And they're worried that this is going to be an ingrained habit or something.
Yes.
And really the way the nervous system works, when we learn, when we get the thing we need, we don't need that stimulus anymore. It's no different than giving your infant mushed up food.
Right, exactly.
You don't worry and say, well, he can't eat this his whole life. Well, he's just a baby. And it's the same thing. It's developmental. So let's give them what they need, when they need it, and don't worry about the future so much. Development takes care of that.
Development takes care of it, and we have to do these things, Letha, to make sure. And I think that that's hard because you go into these IEP meetings or different things and have these conversations with the parents and educators, and they're always looking at the correct way, the one way of doing it, and they forget about the right way of doing things, for sure, Letha, right? For sure.
Oh, and I think that's a challenging position. Teachers are trained to educate.
Yes.
And now all of a sudden, Neil, we have a huge increase in children with issues.
Right.
The New York Times ran an article in May, I think it was, could have been in March, where they cited an increase in occupational therapy referrals in Manhattan of 30% in 1 year. And where I live in California, in the schools I consult with, I'm seeing an increase of 50% with issues, not referrals, but children with issues that affect their ability to learn. Oh my gosh.
Well, Letha, I can't believe we're running out of time. Where's the best place we can find out information on you and learn more about you?
Occupational therapy Letha, Letha.
Well, Letha, best of luck to you. Definitely have to have you in an education roundtable discussion and with some of my other education shows that I know I can get you on. So best of luck, and we'll talk soon.
Oh, I'd love it. Thanks, Neil.
Take care. Bye-bye. You're watching The Neil Haley Show, and we'll be back in just a moment.
Hi, I'm John Walsh, owner of Bethel Bakery, and we are celebrating our 60th birthday this year. We have plenty of events scheduled for this summer and certainly hope that you can join us for our sweet 60th. Each day, now through August 31st, one lucky customer will win a $60 Bethel Bakery gift card just by registering in the store when a purchase is made. Also daily, our Facebook fans can like and share the photo we post on our wall for a chance to win a $6 Bethel Bakery gift card. We also have a community cookie fundraiser with the proceeds supporting 3 organizations in the community: the Joey Fabus Foundation, the Bethel Park Community Foundation, and the Bethel Park Public Library. Each week we are featuring a throwback and new baked good, and if you were born in 1955, make sure to stop in for a free cupcake. Updates are posted on our website, bethelbakery.com. Bethel Bakery, baking life sweeter since 1955, takes great pleasure in serving all our customers. Stop and visit us as we celebrate 60 years of sweet memories.
We're back to the Neil Haley Show again. Go to my website, toldtutor.net for more information. Twitter, toldtutor, Neil S. Haley, Facebook, LinkedIn Neil Haley, Instagram Told Tutor, Pinterest Neil Haley, and Google Plus Neil Haley. And I'm excited, so excited to welcome the program. And this is our celebrity segment. And I'm excited to welcome the program JJ Birden, former Kansas City Chief, NFL star. JJ, thanks, and entrepreneur. JJ, thanks for calling. How are you?
Hey, I'm doing great, Neil. Thanks for having me on the show.
Well, fantastic. So part of it, we're going to talk about football, and a little bit of we're going to talk about your entrepreneurship and your book. So JJ, going into specifically, what do you think in the short time that we have you was your greatest highlight of your career in the NFL? What would you say it would be?
Let's see. The 9 years I played, I'm going to attribute it to the 1993 NFL season when I was with the Kansas City Chiefs. We had a phenomenal year. We got one game before the Super Bowl, but getting to play with Joe Montana and Marcus Allen and those superstar Hall of Fame players was definitely a highlight in my career.
Oh, I'm sure it was. And the memories of going that close to the Super Bowl and playing with Hall of Famers on your team and having your best career highlights, right? That year you had your best numbers, right? Was the year in 1993, correct?
Yeah, that's correct, yeah.
And what do you think meshed with that team, that Chiefs team? Especially, I know playing at Arrowhead it's a fun thing, winning games and playing with such great players and having that Kansas City crowd going wild for you, for sure, right? You really fed off the crowd and stuff, didn't you?
Yeah, we did. We loved playing in Arrowhead. That's such a great football town, very supportive, and you got 80,000 people in red just screaming and shouting. It's like you just wanted to do whatever you could to see those guys have a party in the stands. Just great support from the fans.
Definitely great support from the fans, JJ, and that's important and throughout your career. And being a smaller wide receiver, you were the kind that had to continue to fight and work hard for everything you got in football, didn't you? To keep playing.
Yeah, you better believe it, Neil. I mean, I was at 5'10", 157 pounds, and not your prototypical wide receiver, and so constantly dealing with the doubters, the ones that felt that you weren't big enough to play, and that's what I used as motivation, and that's what drove me to play every day, play every year, and end up playing 9 years.
In college, did they think you'd be able to play be able to be in the NFL when you were playing in college?
Not at all. I went to Oregon on a track scholarship because I could not get a football scholarship due to my size, and so when I went to Oregon, I asked the track coach, hey, what do you think about me walking on in football? And they said, well, hey, run the first year, we'll see what we can do. And they helped set up a meeting the second year with the coach, Rich Brooks, and I literally had to beg Rich to give me a shot. And I twisted his arm enough. He gave me a shot. First week I was number 7th on the depth chart, and 2 weeks later I was number 2. So I think they realized size didn't matter, that I could actually play.
Definitely, size didn't. You could definitely play it. I could tell. Again, playing for those teams, different things. What organization would you consider if you would say you had to retire your jersey you would play with? Can I ask a question like that, JJ? Would you say it would be the Kansas City Chiefs, or would you say what would you say? What organization?
Definitely the Chiefs. I mean, I would have loved to finish my career with the Chiefs because, although I played 9 years, I didn't, have a great start with Cleveland. I tore up my ACL and spent a year on IR. And
you'll make people in Pittsburgh at the flagship station happy you didn't say the Browns.
I had a great, I appreciate the Browns because they gave me my shot. And then I was in Dallas in, 1989. It was Jimmy Johnson's first year, 1-15. And so I'm like, I got to get out of here. And those guys go on to win 3 Super Bowls. I didn't see that one coming. But yeah, I definitely wanted to finish my career with the Chiefs. I wish I could have, because now at the age of 49, when I look back at my career and the teams that I'm most loyal to, it's the Kansas City Chiefs.
Well, definitely, and I think playing in a smaller city and seeing that football is the sport there, if you don't talk Chiefs, if you're not a Chiefs fan in Kansas City, it's going to be hard to deal with Sundays, right? Because again, how crazy it was, such an atmosphere at Arrowhead and all around town in Kansas City for the Chiefs, right?
Oh, absolutely. And I tell you, Neil, my wife and I used to joke about it because we could drive, to the grocery store, be driving down the freeway, and you'd see fans out there in your cars giving you the chop when you're driving by. It was so cool. It was a very loyal town. And like you said, it was all about the Chiefs. And the Royals are stepping up now, so that's nice to see, too.
Well, but I still think it'll be a football town even with the Royals. It's good being politically correct with your Royals for sure. But it'd be like me saying the Pirates compared to the Steelers. Now, this is a Steeler town. Pirates are important, but the Steelers are the town. So let's go, JJ, to specifically life after football. How difficult was it, that transition? We talk about NFL athletes, a lot of them losing their money after they retire, and they, 60% go bankrupt. I mean, the numbers are extraordinary. But you had an entrepreneurial mindset, didn't you, JJ?
Yeah, I sure did, Neil, because I think the one advantage I had, Neil, was I never expected to play in the NFL.
Right.
I was motivated by the simple fact that everyone said I couldn't do it. So when I made it, I thought, okay, let me see if I can get 1 or 2 or 3 years out of this. And next thing you know, I'm up to year 9, and I was really surprised that I'd play that long. But during those years, I was always planning for life after football.
That's great.
I was always, positioning myself for that plan B. And so when it was time for me to retire, I walked away. It wasn't like they said, you can't play anymore. I said, you know what? I got 9 years. I'm healthy. Let's get out of the game while we can. And I quickly transitioned into the business world, and I became owner of several different companies in the medical and fitness equipment industry. For about 9 years, I did that, and then the last 8 years, I've been doing what I'm doing now, which is a little bit of, from the industry of network marketing to motivational speaking, and now a new author. So I think for me, always planning for life after football made me well prepared for when that time came.
Well, JJ, I want to ask one question, especially when you go back into NFL locker rooms and talk to guys. Are you trying to be a mentor to the younger players to make sure that they understand? I teach a SAT prep tutoring class to inner city kids, and a lot of them are 4- and 5-star athletes in high school that look like they're going to go on and maybe possibly play in the next level, and tell them the importance of staying in school, the importance of education, different things like that. I'm sure you're talking to these guys about the importance of entrepreneurship, the importance of not trusting everyone that comes in saying they have the right answer for you. You know what I mean? You keep your money right and find the right people to surround yourself with.
Yeah, I agree, Neil. That is so important to instill, that mindset in these young athletes right away, because they think that, hey, they're going to go play in the pros and everything's going to be great and they're going to be healthy and make all this money, but that's not always the reality. So I always tell young athletes, get your education, finish school. And it's one of the things I'm proud to say, that I did go back to Oregon that next year and graduated and completed my degree, because I wanted that plan B, because I didn't know how long I would play, but I know my education would be with me forever. So along with that, I always try to tell the players, the younger players, that, don't wait until year 8 and year 9 and year 10 or, the end of your career to start thinking about your plan B.
No.
Yeah, start doing it from day one, because as professional athletes, we have such a competitive advantage because we get exposed to so many different types of people. We can make some amazing connections, and it's one of the things that I did when I was playing. I remember meeting business people and doctors and just setting up those networks so that I could make that transition. So I try to encourage these players, hey, take advantage of it right now. Build your own brand so that when the career's over, you'll know what to do right away.
So, and then the also interesting story is writing a book. Did you ever think you'd write a book? And then is it about your career and also your entrepreneurial career? Tell us about the book.
Yeah, Neil, it's something I've always wanted to do, and I think primarily because of the size. Because my whole life I heard, you're too small, you're too small, you're too small. And I always believed that I could do it. And as I went through this journey from high school to college to pro, I learned so many lessons. But I also saw so many people, not just in sports, even in business, that just, they had opportunities and they didn't take advantage of them. They made up excuses, or they blamed someone else. They pointed the finger. And so I figured that if I could put together a book such as When Opportunity Knocks, 8 Surefire Ways to Take Advantage, and share with people the principles that I have used over the last, X amount of years to help me find success in a couple of different areas, if I can encourage them that, hey, we all have opportunities in life. Doesn't matter who we are, what our background is, what our personal situation is. The question is, do we seize them, and then do we take advantage of them? And so that's
great,
really what my book focuses on. And so you'll see a lot of neat little NFL stories, lessons that will be attached to all these different points.
Well, fantastic, JJ. What we're going to have to do is have you back on the show in a month to talk about it in more greater detail, talk about the book, talk about more of life after football, because I think that's the most important thing, and to talk to people about entrepreneurship and having those strategies, because as I listen to you, I see that drive in you. I see that you have that work ethic, that you want to be the greatest entrepreneur, just like you were a great football player, and that's fantastic. So where's the best place we can find info on you, JJ, and learn more about you?
Yeah, absolutely. Go to www.jjburden.com. That is my personal website. That's where my book is available, which ships next week, Neil. I'm looking forward to that. They can pre-order it now. I'll be signing all the pre-ordered orders right now. But everything you want to know about JJ Birden, what I'm into, is right there on that site.
Well, JJ, I was checking you out, and I can tell you really have a focus and intention in your life, and that's so important. And it's great to see that you are continuing to take how hard you worked on the football field into the game of life. So best of luck to you, JJ, and good luck to you.
Yeah, thank you, Neil. I appreciate you having me on, and keep up the good work, and I look forward to coming back once the book is officially released.
All right, sounds good, JJ. Take care.
All right, bye now.
Bye-bye. You're watching The Neil Haley Show. What a great show. Again, go to my website, TotalTutor.net, for more information. Total Tutor, Neil S. Haley, Facebook, LinkedIn, Neil Haley, Instagram, Total Tutor, Pinterest, Neil Haley, and Google+, Neil Haley. And remember to hashtag at Neil Haley Show to be part of the live tweet conversation. Such great guests. We always are lucky to get such great people on the show, from entrepreneurs to all those different things. Website, again, TotalTutor.net. I hope everyone has a great week, and we're going to talk next week with some more great education talk. Good day, everyone.
Hi, I'm John Walsh, owner of Bethel Bakery, and we are celebrating our 60th birthday this year. We have plenty of events scheduled for this summer, and certainly hope that you can join us for our sweet 60th. Each day, now through August 31st, one lucky customer will win a $60 Bethel Bakery gift card just by registering in the store when a purchase is made. Also daily, our Facebook fans can like and share the photo we post on our wall for a chance to win a $6 Bethel Bakery gift card. We also have a community cookie fundraiser with the proceeds supporting 3 organizations in the community: the Joey Fabus Foundation, the Bethel Park Community Foundation, and the Bethel Park Public Library. Each week we are featuring a throwback and new baked good. And if you were born in 1955, make sure to stop in for a free cupcake. Updates are posted on our website, bethelbakery.com. Bethel Bakery, baking life sweeter since 1955, takes great pleasure in serving all our customers. Stop and visit us as we celebrate 60 years of sweet memories.